My parents are from India. I was born in Saudi Arabia, and I moved here when I was in grade 10.
Well, I was born in England, the United Kingdom, and I moved here when I was around 2 years old.
I was born in Belgium, in Europe, and I grew there and studied there until I was 15 years old. Then my parents moved to Quebec.
My parents came from the Caribbean, from St. Kitts and Nevis, and as was common in those days, they went up to England.
My parents emigrated from Italy in the late 50s. I was born in Toronto, grew up in Toronto.
I think I have come across a few challenges since I've been married. Just having to kind of be with family at home, just to kind of have dinner with my husband or whatever, and there's always work commitments, and to find that balance has been challenging, but everyone's very supportive. So if you have to finish something and you want to go home for dinner, it's not a problem. You can always, work from home, and everyone's really flexible. We have 5 prayers, so I think that's probably one of the different things that I would do, is to pray at lunchtime. The firm has done a really good job in that they've accommodated for that, so they've created a specific space to encourage that.
I guess it's a little different when you're dealing with sexual orientation in that it's not overt, it's not obvious. So people can't look at you physically and say, okay, I get it, there's something different, I've processed it, let's move on. So it really requires you to come out and open yourself up to others. You're bringing yourself to the firm. They really want the best of you, and that is the whole person. And until you can get to the point that you recognize that, you're not doing yourself any good and you're not doing anybody else any good. And the environment is here to do that.
I grew up in a family where my parents' generation was not familiar with the Canadian corporate world. Many of my parents in their generation were in the service industry. So my dad was a teacher, my mother was a teacher, but the whole corporate business world was not known to them. And so I kind of stumbled into it and didn't have that guidance or direction from my parents. I attribute a large component of my success to very influential coaches or mentors for me, both of them men, who have at various points in my careers helped me increase my confidence.
Life with a child is definitely different. All parents know that. I was a bit afraid about coming back to work, but talked again with my coach during my maternity leave. So when my daughter was 6 months, I started having contacts with my coach and also my partner, and they were great at bringing down some of the stress and telling me that they were there to help me. And one of the things that we agreed on was to allow for a transition period. So for 5 months, I was not working on Fridays, and so I was on a 4-day week schedule.
I have Duchenne muscular dystrophy. I think one of the big challenges is that sometimes places, they're not accessible, so it can be difficult sometimes to get there, especially, for example, like in the morning when I come in from the GO train. It's often very crowded, and sometimes the problems is like if certain, like the accessibility buttons, they're not working, then it often can be difficult to maneuver. I think what's very important at PwC is that regardless of what limitations or race, color, religion, whatever it is, people, they just see you as an individual. Everybody is very encouraging for you to develop your career. They want you to progress, they want you to succeed. PwC, they provide all the resources that you need to be successful. But in the end, it is up to you to take advantage of those opportunities that they provide.